Okay, so today I'm going to show you some interiors on the Simpsons Hit and Run. Now these interiors are usually accessible just in normal gameplay, and they're often involved with missions too. For example, there'll be certain characters inside who you have to talk to. There are a few points of interest generally in these interiors, such as the Simpsons house here, where you can see Grandpa and Maggie, and you can also interact with the TV too, in what's called a gag in the game. So there are a certain amount of those that you have to find through the game. But as with a lot of games, the interior isn't actually situated where you'd expect it to be. For example, if you go back into the Simpsons home here, you see that the interior isn't actually located in there. Instead, it's in a position off the regular map. So what I'm doing here is I'm using cheat codes to be able to bypass through objects. You can achieve much the same thing by the use of the jumping cars cheat, but it's just easier this way. And by going out of bounds, you can actually find a lot of these interiors that feature in the game, and you can see where they actually are in relation to the map. And by doing this glitch, or whatever you'd like to call it, you can actually access areas of these interiors that you were never supposed to go in at all. For example, you can go in the Simpsons Kitchen here. As you can see, a lot of things aren't solid, and there are a few invisible walls around. No Grandpa and Maggie this time, unfortunately, though, because they don't spawn. And what happened to the carrot curtains from the show, anyway? Why didn't those make it into the game? And as you can see outside, the view of the Flanders house and also the back garden are really just, well, there's not much to them at all. Essentially it's just a picture of the Simpsons back garden on one wall of Flanders house. And you can also see that this side of the house is open, so it's where the camera would usually be pointing into during regular gameplay. So it creates an interesting illusion of what you'd expect to be the Simpsons home. And of course you can go into the hallway area here, and it has a welcome mat, about half a chair, and a portrait of the Simpsons family as well. Bart's room is actually accessible in the later stages of the game. However, in the first level, it still has some textures about it, but unfortunately they're just not solid. They're just there to be viewed from the outside.
I love to sit.
Now, if you know the game quite well, you'll know that you can't access the cemetery until level 7. However, by using the same cheat, or even the jumping cars cheat again, you can access the cemetery in level 1 and on level 4 as well. It looks quite out of place, to be honest, because on level 7 it's a horror themed stage, so any other stage with the cemetery just looked quite weird. And on level 1, you can't even access Mr. Burns' mansion. Again, with cheats, you're actually able to. Sadly, most of the interiors aren't actually loaded into the game at this point, and it's not really surprising, considering that you're not actually supposed to be able to get in here on the first level. On levels 4 and 7, there's a whole lot more to Mr. Burns' mansion, including an interior of the building itself, and a big garden with a chess set. And you can actually see the Stonecutter's tunnel from here as well.
Eat my dust!
Going back round the front, you can actually do this jump that was obviously included on the other levels as well.
Let's do this thing! What do you have that will tantalize my very discerning
There are other
palate?
interiors on the level as well. Here's the Kwik-E-Mart. Again, you can go around, you can talk to people. There are other things happening in the background, like Grandpa and Maggie from the Simpsons house, but only in this level it's Jimbo and Kearney stealing some stuff. And of course there are gags to explore as well, such as Frostilicus, which you might recognise from the actual show. And also, in some interiors you can actually use them to change costume as well. And like with the Simpsons house, you can also go out of bounds and actually explore the interior further. One thing to note is, the interior only loads after you've actually been in it during normal gameplay. For example, if I'd have gone in the Simpsons house and then gone out of bounds and looked where this should be, it actually wouldn't exist. Only by going into the Kwik-E-Mart first and then by going out of bounds can you actually get it to load. So you can actually access the bits of the Kwik-E-Mart that you can't usually get to. For example, behind the arcade machines and the toilet sign. And again, also you can come around the front to where the camera would usually be pointing in. As well, you can actually go inside all the freezers as well, which is particularly funny when you find that you can actually become Frostilicus. And also, it's a bit awkward, but you can actually get into the bit where we saw Jimbo and Kearney before. There's not much in here, unfortunately. But it's cool to be able to go where you actually couldn't go. And here's Springfield Elementary. Again, it's got a load of gags inside, also characters you can interact with, and of course Ralph Wiggum shoving a pencil up his nose as well. So naturally this interior will be used on missions, and obviously it's accessible in general gameplay. And again, like the Kwik-E-Mart, you can use it to change outfit.
Ooh, the vibrations tickling my feet.
So again, we'll go outbounds and we'll explore the parts of Springfield Elementary you usually can't get into. So here we are inside Mrs. Crabapples' classroom. As you can see, there's a load of desks and none of them are solid. In fact, nothing in this room is solid at all. Bart's name is on the blackboard, which you can actually see from the normal level. And obviously there's a desk, a globe, and a picture of a character on the wall. That may be someone like Benjamin Franklin, I don't know. Or it could just be anyone. You can also explore the corridor where Ralph was sitting as well. As you can see, both of these doorways lead to nowhere, and the lockers are not solid, and obviously Ralph is actually gone now, because he doesn't load up inside the interior when it's in out of bounds. Thanks for watching.